Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something that, frankly, has just sent shockwaves through the entire league. It's that brutal intersection of, incredible success and just sudden catastrophic luck.
It really is.
We're going to try and extract the core reality from all the reporting around what could be the end of an era. I mean, the potential abrupt end of the Mahomes and Kelce partnership.
It's a scenario that I don't think anyone, especially in Kansas City, was prepared for.
Not at all. And our mission today is pretty urgent. It's to figure out what happens next based on what we know. We need to understand the real implications of Mahomes' season-ending knee injury and what it means for Travis Kelce, who, is 36 years old and staring down a massive professional crossroads.
And for this, we're leaning pretty heavily on the analysis from Central NFL News, specifically their Kingdom Report. They're known for getting into the granular details inside the franchise.
And they framed it perfectly, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely. They said this isn't just an injury report, it's a franchise-altering crisis. The entire mood at Arrowhead, they said, has gone from talking about a three-peat to survival.
From three-peat to survival. That says it all. And that's why we need this deep dive. The central question, the one that really dictates the future for the Chiefs, is what do Travis Kelce's press conference answers? What do they really signal about his future? We've got to piece together the facts. His age, this long recovery for Mahomes, and just the sheer historical weight of their partnership.
Exactly. It's about synthesizing the cold, hard facts, the injury, the timing of Kelce's contract, his age. It's like a story of an athlete's clock just violently colliding with a huge, unexpected setback.
Okay, so let's just lay out the concrete facts first, because they're staggering. Patrick Mahomes officially out for the season, severe knee injury.
Done. Here.
So all those playoff hopes, the dynasty talk, it's extinguished. The season now just ends on January 4th, and for a guy like Kelce, after a decade of deep playoff runs, that has to be a profound shock to the system.
And you could feel that shock in the Friday press conference. The reporters, they knew what was at stake. They went right for the jugular.
What was the exact question?
They asked him, point blank, did it cross your mind that you might have played your last snap with Patrick Mahomes?
Wow. That question carries the weight of the entire franchise's future, and how he handled it, that's where we get our first real piece of analysis.
He was visibly composed, but his answer was, like you said before we started, a textbook pivot. I'm just focused on winning football games.
And the source, the Kingdom Report, they put a lot of weight on that deflection, didn't they? They sort of see it as a sign of this huge internal turmoil.
They do, and it's a strong deflection, for sure. But is it proof of drama? I don't know. He also said he's trying to, quote, keep the focus of the media on this team right now.
Right, which is what you'd expect a team leader to say.
Exactly. Couldn't just focusing on winning be what a professional is supposed to do? Instead of making the last 3 games all about his own contract situation, the analysis kind of suggests both things can be true at once. The question is real for him, personally, but his job, his professionalism, demands that he just shuts it down immediately.
That's a really critical distinction, separating the professional need from the personal feeling. But even with all that composure, he let one thing slip, one little phrase that the source flags as being incredibly revealing. Kelce, who's 36, heading into free agency. He admitted, this is a unique time in my life.
And that word unique, that's everything. That's the whole story right there. We have to unpack what that means.
So what does it mean for a guy who's only known certainty, who's been a top contender with the best quarterback in the league for his whole career?
For him, unique means total unprecedented uncertainty. Does it mean opportunity, like a chance to go get one last big contract somewhere else? Or does unique mean transition? Maybe confronting retirement way sooner than he ever thought he would.
Because his future is now tied to the health of his quarterback. Not just the health, but the risk. The long-term risk.
And that's where the conversation moves away from emotion and just becomes about cold, hard math, the timeline.
Let's get into that timeline, because that's what makes this decision so brutal for him.
The emotional weight is all tied to the calendar here. Mahomes is looking at a 10 to 12 month recovery period.
10 to 12 months.
And when you map that onto the NFL calendar, the implications for Kelce are, well, they're chilling. It stretches deep into the next 2 seasons.
So you put 10 to 12 months next to his age. The question isn't just, will he stay anymore? It's, can his body even afford to wait?
That's it.
The Kingdom Report is so clear on this. Even if he did stay for the 2026 season, Mahomes might not be, 100% Mahomes until halfway through that season.
Just think about that. from January 4th, 2025 until maybe October, November of 2026. For a player who's already battling father time, that is a massive, massive gap.
We have to really emphasize what's being lost here, too. The historical context.
Oh, absolutely. This isn't just about losing stats. It's about losing a historic synergy. The source calls them the most productive QBTE connection the world has ever seen.
3 Super Bowls, countless records, that telepathic chemistry they always talk about.
And that's what's irreplaceable. The source is adamant. You're not just losing a great player, you're dissolving a unique competitive advantage that defined a dynasty.
Which brings us to the risk for Kelce's legacy. At 36, I mean, the data on tight ends, the production drop-off is sharp. It's measurable.
It's a cliff.
So for him, spending half a season, maybe more, with a backup QB, it isn't just about losing games. It's potentially tanking his final career numbers, taking more hits while the offense sputters.
It's a simple biological fact, right? His body is on a completely different clock than Mahomes' recovery timeline. And that physical reality, it just overrides everything else. Loyalty, emotion, all of it.
So the source really boils it down to one critical business question.
Yeah, and it's this. Would Kelce, the heart of that offense, really want to finish his Hall of Fame career playing half a season or more with a backup while Pat gets back to full strength, risking his stats, his health, and a shot at one more clean Super Bowl run somewhere else?
It frames the choice as this brutal, pragmatic calculation.
It is.
Loyalty means he stays, anchors the offense, and probably sacrifices a year of his peak health and production. But legacy. Legacy says you go chase a championship window somewhere else. Protect your body, maximize your value.
The analysis makes it clear this is now about choosing how his own professional story ends. It's almost completely divorced from what's best for the team in the immediate future.
And every single snap he would take with a non-Mahomes quarterback, as the source suggests, is a risk. It's a risk to his body without the reward of that elite QB play that, keeps defenses honest.
It's a non-starter for his Hall of Fame case if his final year is a visible decline. The timing is it's catastrophic. Forces him to choose between the one guy who defined his entire career and the singular goal of a perfect exit.
And all of that weight now gets applied to these last 3 games. The Titans, the Broncos, the Raiders. I mean, for most teams, these games are meaningless. You're just playing out the string.
But not for him, not for them. The narrative has completely shifted. The source is calling these games a potential farewell tour for number 87.
A farewell tour. That framing, it changes how you watch every single play, doesn't it?
Completely. For the media, for the fans, and probably for Kelce himself. They're not just football games anymore. It's like performance art under a massive microscope.
And we saw Coach Reid's comments in the report. He says the team is rallying. But you have to wonder.
Well, of course. The analysis points to that conflict, right? The coaching staff has to say they're rallying. That's their job. But you can feel the tension. And Kelce, he's the barometer for that conflict.
How so?
Reid has to keep the ship steady. But if Kelce's body language on the field betrays that message, if he shows visible frustration, then that whole rallying narrative just falls apart. The source basically says, watch his actions, not his words.
So let's get into that. The report breaks down 3 possible motivations for Kelce in these last few games. This is the lens you, as the listener, should be watching him through. First, is he playing for the fans? Just giving them one last show.
A thank you, basically.
A thank you. Second, is he playing to mentor? The younger guys have to step up now, so is he in that leadership role? Or third, and this is the one I find most interesting, is he just focused on winning as a coping mechanism?
That third one, the coping mechanism, that's the most compelling psychological take in the whole report. It makes so much sense.
I'll explain that a little more.
Well, athletes do it all the time. They use the immediate goal, win the next play, make the next catch too, compartmentalize all the huge, complex uncertainty in their lives. If he can focus entirely on that route, that catch, he doesn't have to think about the fact that his biological clock is ticking while his quarterback's career is on pause.
So we need to watch for the visual evidence. If it's mentorship, we'll see him coaching up the young receivers on the sideline. If it's that third one, that pure coping, we'll probably see him demanding the ball, right? Running with a kind of frantic intensity.
Exactly. His energy, where he puts his focus between plays, those are the metrics to watch.
And it all just circles back to that unavoidable truth, the one that underlies this whole thing.
Father Time is undefeated.
He just doesn't have the luxury of waiting 10 or 12 months for the chance at a reunion. It's a painful but necessary reality check.
Imposed by physics and biology, it just overrides everything else.
So wrapping this all up,
Mhm.
what does this mean for you watching this unfold? We've basically quantified the risk, right? Mahomes' recovery versus Kelce's age. We've analyzed the history, and we understand that this dynasty, its end, might not be some glorious final Super Bowl pass. It's just an abrupt, gut-wrenching injury.
And the key takeaway has to be that his legacy is secure. Travis Kelce is a legend, period, whatever he decides. But the heartbreak here, seeing a dynasty potentially end not because of age or decline, but because of a random sudden event, it's a really sad moment for the league. This specific era of Chiefs football, the one defined by that telepathic connection between 15 and 87, it's fundamentally over now. Whether he stays or not, that specific synergy is broken.
It certainly is, and that leaves us with one final provocative thought for you to chew on as you watch these last few games. Let's just say he decides to prioritize the chemistry. He prioritizes loyalty in that one last shot with a fully healthy Mahomes.
If he chooses the reunion.
If he chooses the reunion. How exactly does a 36-year-old Hall of Famer in free agency navigate an entire year of uncertainty? A year where Super Bowl contenders are going to be lining up, offering him massive contracts, offering him any chances to win. Does prioritizing that shared story, that chemistry, over a guaranteed opportunity, does that define his legacy more profoundly than any catch he ever made? That's the calculus he's facing, and we're all just witnesses to it.